Good evening. It's Thursday, the 18th of December, and here's what's making news around the world on World News Tonight. Grim aftermath. Australian authorities struggle to maintain calm as the investigations into the Bondi shooting continue. The nation mourns those lost. Diplomatic visit. Indian Prime Minister Modi arrives in Oman for two-day official visit for discussions focusing on trade and investment flows. Sweet surprise. Young patients at Texas Children's Hospital choose hand-decorated Christmas trees ahead of holidays, filling the atmosphere with joy.
From Colombo, this is World News Tonight with Prithika Sivakumar.
Good evening and thank you once again for joining us on World News Tonight on Derana News Channel. The head of the Federal Police is reporting that raids are imminent as the AFP moves to investigate and identify hate preachers and anyone associated with them as the authorities dives deeper into the Bondi attack case.
A tiny hotel room with 2 single beds, just over $20 a night, and reportedly paid for in cash. This was the base of Sajid and Nazeev Akram during their 27-day trip to the Philippines, now at the centre of an investigation into Australia's worst ever terror attack.
The President strongly rejects the sweeping statement and the misleading characterization of the Philippines as the ISIS training hotspot.
The father and son visited the city of Davao, reportedly for militant training, just weeks before they're alleged to have carried out an Islamic State-inspired attack targeting Jewish families at Bondi Beach. Filipino authorities on the front foot rejecting those claims.
Training cannot be acquired in just 30 days.
There are no activities such as trainings or any local terrorist activities.
The AFP continues to work with both domestic and international partners to build a more complete picture of the movements and who the alleged offenders had contact with both in Australia and offshore.
The country's top cop refusing to confirm whether the accused mass killers received combat instructions overseas. But she did have this warning for anyone that may have influenced them back home.
I can also reveal the AFP has ongoing investigations into people who have been described as hate preachers. These individuals who spew hatred and cause fear are on my radar.
They'll be looking at their contacts with preachers with a known reputation for their anti-Jewish rhetoric. They'll be looking at their association with other known groups. They'll be looking at their travel to the Philippines. They'll be looking at any other connections overseas that they might have had.
Earlier this year, Western Sydney cleric Wissam Haddad was ordered by a court to remove racist and anti-Semitic lectures from social media. He's been linked to surviving gunman Naveed Akram, but denies any personal relationship with the 24-year-old.
Hate speech just didn't pop out of the woodwork over the last couple of weeks. It's been around for the last couple of years.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Muscat for a two-day official visit to Oman, during which he will meet Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said.
Oman's Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs, Saeed Shihab bin Tariq Al Said, received Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi upon his arrival at Muscat International Airport, marking the start of a high-level visit aimed at strengthening bilateral ties between the two countries. The visit underscores the growing strategic, economic and diplomatic cooperation between Oman and India. Meanwhile, on the sidelines of the Omani-Indian business dialogue, Oman's Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion, Qais bin Mohammed Al Yusuf, held talks with India's Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal. The discussions focused on expanding trade, boosting investment flows and identifying new areas of collaboration across key sectors, including manufacturing, logistics, energy and technology. The talks were supported by strong trade performance between the two nations. Bilateral trade reached approximately 1.049 billion Omani riyals in the first half of this year, with India continuing to rank as Oman's third largest trading partner. Officials from both sides expressed optimism about further deepening economic engagement and enhancing long-term cooperation.
President Donald Trump announced how his economic policies have pulled America from the brink of ruin following former President Joe Biden's tenure during his primetime address to the nation.
Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our Treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before.
Trump said that under the Biden administration, car prices rose by at least 22%, gasoline rose 30 to 50%, hotel rates by 37%, and airfares by 31%, and mortgage prices up $15,000 under the Democrat rule. Trump's administration zeroes in on its economic messaging following Democrats latching on to a winning campaign strategy of affordability while slamming Trump and Republicans for allegedly rolling out policies that have caused the housing crisis to worsen and costs at the checkout line to rise. Following a handful of high-profile elections in November handing wins to Democrats who campaigned on the platform, Trump has turned up the heat that Biden administration policies continue to haunt the current economy.
The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on.
While costs rose under Biden, Trump touted the savings Americans are seeing under his leadership. Trump started his address stating that 11 months ago he inherited a mess and he's fixing it right now. Trump's address included announcing the rollout of warrior dividends to all U.S. military members in honor of the 250th anniversary of the nation's founding in 1776.
They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead.
Nick Rainier, son of Rob Rainier, made his first court appearance in Los Angeles on 2 counts of first-degree murder in the killing of his parents.
Nick Rainier in court, handcuffed, wearing a blue suicide prevention vest, represented by prominent lawyer Alan Jackson, whose other clients include Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein.
There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case.
The 32-year-old is accused of murdering his father, Hollywood director Rob Reiner, and mother, Michelle Reiner. The investigation making headlines all around the world, his lawyer raising concerns about prejudice.
Not with a rush to judgment, not with jumping to conclusions, but with restraint and with dignity and with the respect that this system and this process deserves and that the family deserves.
Nick Rainer's siblings were not in court, instead releasing this statement. Words cannot even begin to describe the unimaginable pain we are experiencing every moment of the day. They weren't just our parents, they were our best friends.
It seems as if the police have centered their investigation on this one suspect. They are comfortable that they have the perpetrator.
Nick Rainier did not enter a plea and only uttered 3 words, "Yes, Your Honour," when asked if he understood his arraignment will be delayed until January 7.
The sentence that he could potentially receive in this case is death because of the multiple murders.
For now, he's been refused bail.
British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has condemned the 5-day doctors' strike that began today, calling it dangerous and utterly irresponsible. He warned that the industrial action could place additional strain on the National Health Service and risk disruption to patient care nationwide. Hospitals are expected to face widespread disruption, with thousands of non-urgent appointments postponed while emergency services remain operational.
It's been called a strike at the worst possible time, with flu surging through the NHS the week before Christmas. Doctors are back on the picket line. It's a fight over pay, but also the direction over the future of the health service.
Who should pay?
Patients can't see doctors.
No.
Doctors don't have jobs.
If you want a pay rise, who should pay? Which group of taxpayer?
We're also taxpayers, sir.
No, which group of taxpayers should pay for your pay rise?
I think that should be the responsibility of the Chancellor.
I don't think it's fair to equivocate like a specific group. It's meant to be like a country.
Yeah, but but you're going to have to raise taxes to pay. Who should pay?
Some hospitals are warning patients they face a 15-hour wait to see a doctor in the emergency department. The Health Secretary Wes Streeting says the strikes have cost the NHS around £500 million so far, and these next few weeks could be the hardest yet. Here at the Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading, senior consultants tell they're already exhausted with the worst of winter potentially yet to come. This is the 14th round of strike action, but the effects continue long after the picket lines have gone.
Fix our jobs! Fix our pay!
Both sides can bring these strikes to an end, but there's a gulf between them, with suffering patients stuck in the middle.
Let's go in for a short commercial break. More world news coming right after this. Welcome back. Protesting French farmers blocked roads across France over a mass call to prevent the spread of a bovine disease. Anger over the sanitary measure combined with farmers' concerns about a planned Mercosur trade deal has forced France to seek a delay in the EU vote.
Daily and for over a week now, French farmers have been rolling out their tractors onto highways, placing piles of manure and hay bales on thoroughfares to block traffic, all in protest of the culling of entire herds that may have been exposed to a bovine illness, lumpy skin disease. These farmers blocking the A63 south of Bordeaux say they won't let up until their demands are met, or until there's a change in France's sanitation protocols in combating outbreaks of the disease.
They can no longer be culling nationwide. We set up to last, with a rotating system among farmers so they can go home, feed the animals, get some rest and come back. We're in it for the long haul.
Further south, another highway, but the same grievances. On the A9 near Narbonne, tires burned as farmers repaired their blockades at strategic points to disrupt road and train traffic. It's in the southwest of France, in 10 departments, where the most recent outbreaks of lumpy skin disease have occurred, leading to the culling of over 3,000 animals and mass vaccinations. The government has vowed to step up inoculation campaigns to 750,000 more animals, with the objective of 1 million vaccinated. It's pleaded with agricultural unions to have faith in the protocols, that they're working to eradicate the disease. But for farmers, be it in the southwest or across the country, the outbreak and the strict rules, or if one case is found the entire herd is killed, it's the last straw for them and a series of grievances. Be it the Mercosur trade deal, with many farmers fearing it will flood the market with cheap beef and products, to the increasing difficulty to make ends meet as agricultural workers.
The billionaire founder of South Korea's Coupang, Bondi Kim, failed to appear before a parliamentary hearing in Seoul about the e-commerce giant's recent data breach, angering lawmakers who said they would take legal action.
South Korean lawmakers have threatened legal action against the billionaire founder of Coupang. Company CEO and chair Bondi Kim declined to attend a parliamentary hearing in Seoul Wednesday. He cited his overseas residence and commitments as head of a global company. His absence upset lawmakers who wanted to talk about Coupang's recent data breach. South Korean lawmaker Choi Hyung-doo.
Chairman Bondi Kim's claim that he cannot attend because he is travelling abroad and is a global CEO is, in my view, an act that truly mocks the public and delivers despair to global investors.
Lawmakers accused Kim of breaking a law that compels witnesses to attend hearings and make themselves available for investigations. The interim CEO of the company's South Korean unit, Harold Rogers, stood in for Kim during the session. The personal data of more than 33 million Coupang customers was leaked in a breach this year. The hack is believed to have started in June through overseas servers, but the company didn't learn of the problem until mid-November.
I am the decision maker in Korea.
Rogers argued the breach didn't count as a material breach under US SEC rules. He argued that's because the information leaked wasn't considered highly sensitive and also wouldn't violate US privacy law. The data included customers' names, home and email addresses, phone numbers, as well as their purchase history.
Thousands of tents housing displaced Palestinians across the Gaza Strip have been inundated after heavy rain and strong winds battered the area. Hundreds of Palestinians sought shelter from the storm among the ruins of buildings in Gaza City, many of which were largely destroyed by the Israeli army.
When Storm Byron hit Gaza, its wind and rain wrought havoc. Residents clung to their tents to no avail under the extreme conditions. Mahmoud has been living in a room in the shelled-out Gaza City building with 11 other people because they have no other place to go. The war-battered structures, together with extreme weather, have produced another imminent threat. His fears are well-founded as the death toll continues to rise from unsafe falling buildings and the effects of the cold. Meanwhile, in Khan Yunis, aid groups try to feed residents as best they can. Though formidable, the effort pales in comparison to the needs of residents, as they are not even sure to get a meal. The UN announced on Monday that an estimated 1.3 million people in the Strip are in need of shelter and warned of the increasing risk of hypothermia from winter conditions. Needs continue to outpace the ability of humanitarian groups to respond in light of ongoing obstacles. The groups themselves continue to highlight that Israel is not allowing enough aid to enter into the enclave.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Brussels today to take part in a European Union summit at which leaders are expected to decide whether to use frozen Russian assets to lend billions of euros of cash to Ukraine to keep its war effort afloat.
The European Union views Russia's war in Ukraine as a direct threat to its own security and is determined to keep Kyiv financially supported and militarily engaged. The European Commission has proposed using frozen Russian central bank assets, most of which are held in a Belgian clearinghouse, to secure a major loan for Ukraine. However, Belgium has raised concerns over potential legal and financial risks, with other member states including Italy also expressing reservations. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said she would not leave the summit without reaching an agreement on how to finance Ukraine over the next 2 years. EU officials warned that without continued financial support, Ukraine could run out of funds by the second quarter of next year, potentially tipping the war in Russia's favor and heightening the risk of broad instability across Europe.
Venezuela has accused the Trump administration of attempting to seize control of its oil resources. The claim follows an order by the U.S. president imposing a full blockade on all sanctioned oil tankers traveling to and from the Latin American country.
In Venezuela, President Nicolas Maduro said in a speech in Caracas on Wednesday that U.S. President Donald Trump's order for a total and complete blockade of sanctioned oil tankers entering and leaving the country was a warmongering threat and a colonialist pretense. This was in response to the Trump administration's announcement of the blockade on Tuesday, along with its designation of Maduro's government as a foreign terrorist organization. Maduro also said that the real motive behind the continuing U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean was oil rather than combating drug trafficking, and that Trump had revealed his true motives towards the South American country to be regime change, which he said will never happen, adding that Venezuela will never be a colony of anything or anyone. In an immediate response to Trump's post on Tuesday, the Venezuelan government called his declaration a reckless and serious threat that violates international law, free trade, and freedom of navigation. Maduro stated that Venezuela will continue to trade oil. On Wednesday, Venezuela also requested that the United Nations Security Council meet to discuss the ongoing U.S. aggression. A UN diplomat has reportedly said that a meeting would likely be scheduled for next Tuesday. Meanwhile, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posted on X that the U.S. military carried out a lethal strike on a vessel in the Eastern Pacific that was allegedly transiting along a known narco-trafficking route. Hegseth said the attack killed 4 males he described as narco-terrorists and that no U.S. military forces were harmed.
Time for a short break now. We'll be right back with more world news. Welcome back. A Nashville theatre company is blending Wall Street and A Christmas Carol in its production titled AVHS Christmas Carol. Presented by the Street Theatre Company, the show has become a seasonal favorite, now in its 20th year, with audiences returning annually. This season, the production leans heavily into an over-the-top 1980s theme to keep the experience fresh.
What would you get if you crossed the movies Wall Street and A Christmas Carol? Something like this, at least through the minds of a group of actors in Nashville. The Street Theater Company is presenting its show entitled A VHS Christmas Carol.
Full of Americana and pop culture, and one of many different types of shows that feel like, yeah, that's a street theater show. Because it's weird, and because it's interesting, and because it's fun.
The audience keeps coming back year after year. Now in its 20th season, the company says they do their best to keep things interesting.
Ernest Saves Christmas, Gremlins, vintage E.T. drinking glass, which is awesome.
This year they went all out with the 1980s theme, turning this old barbershop into a stage set like an old video store, complete with other kitsch. All to bring Ebenezer Scrooge into the future.
He's probably like a Wall Street guy.
You'll be haunted by three spirits.
He does not like We Are the World, right? That's who Scrooge is in the 80s.
It's an unusual holiday show, but one that audiences are turning out to see. After all, you can only see the original Christmas carols so many times.
At Texas Children's Hospital, young patients are choosing from more than 200 hand-decorated child-sized Christmas trees as the holiday approaches.
Oh, it's so cool.
Eyes all aglow.
Touch his nose.
4-year-old Reagan is on the hunt for the perfect tree at a different kind of Christmas tree farm.
Reagan, look.
Oh, my goodness.
Inside Texas Children's Hospital, more than 200 hand-decorated kid-sized trees filled with baseballs, butterflies, labubus, even K-pop demon hunters. Each young patient can pick a tree that gets delivered to their room, bringing Christmas cheer to kids like Reagan, who will spend their holidays here.
You picked this one?
Yeah, you bring it for me?
Yes, I will bring it for you.
Holiday magic.
Thank you, everybody.
For those most in need of a bit of Christmas wonder.
Merry Christmas!
And with that, we come to the end of today's edition of World News Tonight. With the hopes of seeing you again, I'm Pritika Sivakumar, and we'll leave you tonight with the visuals of Mexico City's Zocalo's switches on festive light displays. Also, don't forget to send us your feedback through email at feedback.adncenglish@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 076-805-7933. Thank you for watching World News Tonight on Other Derana News channel. Have a good night.